Do you ever open a can of tuna just because your cat goes absolutely wild for it? They purr, they rub against your legs. You feel like the best cat parent in the world. But what if that little harmless treat you've been giving every other day is quietly hurting them? Most owners have no idea. Today, you're about to discover the hidden dangers that even many vets don't talk about enough, and exactly what to do instead. Stay with me, because point 2 alone might change everything you thought you knew. Point 1. The Mercury Problem nobody talks about. Here's what actually happens inside your cat's body when tuna becomes more than an occasional treat. Tuna is a big, long-living fish, and big fish do something smaller ones don't. They accumulate mercury in their muscles over years. When your cat eats that muscle, the mercury moves straight into their system. One small serving, usually fine. But here's what most owners miss. Mercury doesn't leave a cat's body quickly. It builds up in the kidneys and nervous system, silently, slowly, with no warning signs at first. A study in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery showed that cats getting tuna as more than 10% of their diet developed rising mercury levels in their blood. Not toxic yet, but climbing. And the early signs are heartbreakingly easy to miss. Your cat seems a little unsteady on their feet. They miss a jump they used to nail easily. They just seem off. Most owners blame old age. Most owners blame clumsiness. Sometimes, it's the tuna you've been giving them for months. Your cat's body keeps score, even when you don't see it. If this is already surprising you, hit that like button right now and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Point 2. The thiamine thief. Here's the one that shocks most people. Tuna contains a naturally occurring enzyme called thiaminase. Sounds harmless. It is absolutely not. Thiaminase destroys thiamine, that's vitamin B1, before your cat's body even gets a chance to absorb it. And cats desperately need B1 to convert food into energy for their brain. Without enough of it, here's what starts to happen: loss of appetite, vomiting, head tilting, seizures, and in the worst cases, coma. The World's Small Animal Veterinary Association has documented real cases of thiamine deficiency in cats fed heavily on tuna, especially cheap, human-grade tuna straight from your pantry. Here's the part that catches everyone off guard. Commercial cat foods that contain tuna? They're legally required to add extra thiamine to offset this exact problem. But that can of tuna sitting in your kitchen cupboard right now? No added thiamine. No safety net. Nothing. That spoonful you give as a treat, week after week, can slowly starve your cat's brain of what it needs to function. Not quickly, not dramatically, just quietly, over time. Point 3. The addiction you didn't see coming. Have you ever given your cat tuna a few days in a row and then noticed they suddenly turned their nose up at their normal food? That's not them being difficult or spoiled. Tuna is what animal behaviorists call a super stimulus. It's extremely high in protein and fat, with a powerful smell that triggers your cat's deepest hunting instincts. Once they've had it regularly, normal chicken or turkey kibble doesn't just taste boring, it feels wrong to them. A study in applied animal behavior science found that cats fed high-palatability fish-based diets for just 2 weeks showed significant rejection of standard poultry-based food afterward. 2 weeks, that's all it takes. And here's how the cycle works. Your cat refuses dinner. They cry at the pantry. They follow you around the kitchen. You feel guilty. You cave. You give more tuna. And now you're not just dealing with a picky eater, you're dealing with a cat who's missing the balanced nutrition their body actually needs. Every week you give in, the cycle gets harder to break. Point 4. Salt, oil, and the kidney double hit. Human tuna isn't made for cats. Most of it is packed in brine, that's salt water, or in vegetable oil. Neither is safe in regular amounts for a small animal. Too much salt can cause sodium ion poisoning. We're talking excessive thirst, vomiting, diarrhea, and in serious cases, tremors and seizures. Oil-packed tuna brings a different risk, pancreatitis. Cats' digestive systems simply aren't designed to handle large amounts of vegetable or soybean oil. One fatty meal can trigger painful, life-threatening inflammation of the pancreas. And here's something almost nobody talks about. Tuna also contains other heavy metals beyond mercury, cadmium, and lead that quietly accumulate in the kidneys over time. Think about that for a second. Kidney disease is already the #1 cause of death in older cats. It's the thing vets dread telling owners about most. And every unnecessary dose of heavy metals you add to their diet is quietly increasing that risk for a treat they don't even need. Point 5. The one safe way to give tuna. If you absolutely must. So, should you never give your cat tuna again? That's not what I'm saying. Tuna can be given, but most owners do it wrong. Here's the simple, safe rule. Maximum once a week. Treat only, never a meal replacement. No more than 1 tablespoon for an average-sized cat. Always choose spring water packed, never brine, never oil. Drain it thoroughly and never give the liquid. The liquid holds the highest concentration of salt and heavy metals. Never replace a meal with it. It should be a small addition to their regular, balanced food. And here's the honest truth most owners don't want to hear. Your cat doesn't need tuna. They want it. Desperately, loudly, persistently. But wanting something and being good for them are two very different things. Better alternatives. If you want to give your cat a fish-based treat they'll love, and that's actually safe, look for commercial treats made from small fish. Sardines, mackerel, salmon. Small fish don't live long enough to accumulate dangerous levels of mercury. They're lower in heavy metals, easier on the kidneys, and you can find high-quality versions in most pet shops. Your cat gets the fish fix they're craving. You get the peace of mind of knowing it's not quietly doing damage. That's a trade worth making. Tomorrow, your cat is going to meow at the pantry door, and a little voice in your head is going to say, "Just a little won't hurt." That's the mistake, because just a little, every day, becomes a lot over months. Mercury doesn't care about your good intentions. Thiamine doesn't send a warning before it runs out. Your cat's body keeps score even when you're not watching. So right now, go check your pantry. If that can of tuna has quietly become a regular thing, move it to your own shelf and replace it with a bag of small fish treats instead. Your cat will still love you, maybe even more, because you'll be around longer to pet them. Drop a comment below. How often have you been giving your cat tuna? Be honest, no judgment here. You might be surprised how many other owners are in the same boat. And if this video opened your eyes, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the best thing you can give your cat isn't more tuna. It's knowing what actually hurts them. See you in the next one.